Welcome, everyone. My name is Beata Leah. I'm an immigration attorney, and joined with me is also immigration attorney Erin Lowy. We're from the law firm of Minsky, McCormick, and Halligan in Chicago. It's January 20th, 2021, and we're excited to join you today because for the first time since 1986, really, we have what appears to be a very comprehensive immigration reform bill announced by the Biden administration today that, if passed, would significantly change the immigration laws of the United States. So we're here today to talk to you about what's in the proposal. Before we get into that, I should say that at the moment it is just a proposed bill. The final text of the bill has not yet been made public. All we have is just a draft of the goals of the bill. This is obviously going to have to go through both the House and the Senate and be passed by both. And as is with any law, there will be changes made in order to pass such a bill. And so this is, again, just a list of the goals of the Biden administration in terms of what they want to pass, but not necessarily what actually will pass or even if it will pass. So all we're giving you is this information as we have it right now. So Erin, let's start with probably the most significant part of the bill, and that's the immigration reform part that would legalize approximately 12 million undocumented people in the United States. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, and just hearing you say that is amazing. I mean, I don't know when anyone thought this would happen, so this is incredible. So the plan presents what they're calling an earned roadmap to citizenship for undocumented individuals. So, one idea is that basically any undocumented person could apply for temporary legal status and then apply for a green card after 5 years, assuming they pass some criminal background checks or national security checks and pay taxes. So that would be a 5-year path for your kind of everyone who's undocumented, assuming they meet certain criminal national security background checks. Then there's a separate path for dreamers, and it's unclear if that refers to someone with DACA or just anyone who entered under the age of 16, people with TPS, certain farm workers. These people could be eligible for green cards immediately. And then it seems like for both groups of people, after 3 years with a green card, if you pass additional background checks and then can also pass a civics and English exam, you can apply to become a citizen. And this would be for anyone who's physically present in the United States on or before January 1st of 2021. So nearly anyone who's here at the time, unless they came in the last 2.5 weeks, would be eligible for this. And then there are even people who were deported in the past who had been here for a certain amount of time might even qualify. So this is huge. I mean, I can't even say how exciting this is that all of these people would have a path. And, one of the things that came up at our office, which we just, so many people mentioned being in tears about, was that they're finally going to propose replacing the word alien with the word non-citizen, which just humanizes people. These are the people that this bill is talking about. They're people. They're not aliens. They're not numbers. They're not lawbreakers who need to prove themselves. They're just people. And I don't think, I don't think we can overstate the emotional impact of that change.
Yeah, so it would change the legal term for immigrants from alien to non-citizen. I agree, it is significant, at least symbolically. And so the news has been sort of reporting on this for the last few days, that it would create sort of a 8-year plan, 8-year process for these people, because again, we're talking about the undocumented who are not dreamers, TPS, or farm workers. They would first have temporary status for a period of 5 years, then become eligible to apply for citizenship, and after holding their permanent residency, and then after having their permanent residency or green card for 3 years, then become eligible for citizenship. So an 8-year process in total.
And I think also just the only thing to add, and I know we'll get to this more, but it doesn't sound like they would necessarily have to leave the country. It doesn't mention that they'd have to go back to their home country, which would just be amazing for people who maybe can't do that, or it's too much of a burden, or being able to do that here where they live and have established a life is incredible.
What's interesting is that mentioned in a different section of the summary, it says that it actually proposes to eliminate the 3-year and 10-year bar, which is essentially the reason why most of these immigrants in the past have had to go back to their home country, often by first obtaining a waiver, which is very difficult to obtain, and resulted in us having this ballooning undocumented population, because so many people are not eligible to apply for their green cards, even if they're married to a citizen or a resident, even if they have children who are citizens in the United States, because of the 3-year and 10-year bar. And so this bill at least proposes to eliminate that 3-year and 10-year bar, eliminate the need for filing a waiver or doing your process through the consulate abroad. And at least, again, it appears as though right now it would enable these people to apply for their green cards from the United States without departing. Another, I think, very significant goal of the bill is that it not only creates a path to citizenship for individuals who are not presently eligible, it also works to fix some of the problems that we have with our current immigration system and the people who are, I guess you can say, in line for their green card, both through the family-based immigration system and the employment-based immigration system. So immigration attorneys and individuals who are in line are well aware that there are significant backlogs for green cards, both in the family-based and employment-based context, often lasting decades. It is not unusual for us to have clients that have waited 30 years to get their green card. And based on the volume of people who are presently in line, certain groups of people could wait longer. I mean, there are some people who will simply die if the system is not reformed before they get their green card. And so what this bill proposes, it has several fixes to the established and current system for the people who are in line to cure or alleviate that backlog to some extent. Some of the things that it proposes is recapturing previously unused visas, increasing quotas, eliminating the per country cap. And so because presently the government can only issue green cards to individuals from each country. Only 7% of that total can go to individuals from one country. And once you reach that 7%, you're out for the entire year and you have to wait until the following year. And because we have so many immigrants from certain countries, namely Mexico, Philippines, China, and India, those individuals are waiting decades for their green cards. And so it proposes eliminating that 7% quota. It also interestingly creates, or at least attempts to create, a temporary visa for individuals who have approved petitions from their family members, but because of these backlogs, are unable to immigrate. And so it creates a temporary visa enabling them to come to the United States to wait for their green card to be approved because of these backlogs. On the employment side, again, eliminating the per country quotas would certainly alleviate the problem of most notably, Indians who are waiting decades for their green cards, and some Chinese. But it also proposes to make it easier for STEM graduates to get green cards. It creates a worker permit for all spouses of H-1B workers. It protects children of H-1B workers who are stuck in these backlogs and will age out when they turn 21. So they are unable to get their green cards because of how long they were in the process. And how unfair is that because the process took so long, you're not able to get a green card because you turned 21 while waiting. And so it eliminates that problem. And it also creates a pilot program where local jurisdictions, local communities can actually sponsor or seek more foreign workers who are going to invest in their communities and stimulate the economy in those communities to get green cards for those foreign nationals. So this is very, very significant. Erin, what about on the humanitarian side? What other changes does it propose for, I guess, asylum, victims of trafficking and violence?
Yeah, so there are a couple different really great proposals. One is to eliminate the 1-year deadline for asylum cases, and trying to reduce the asylum backlog. So that is incredible, because right now an asylum seeker is supposed to request asylum within 1 year of entering the country, which, especially if you're someone who's been fleeing something traumatic, don't speak English, you may not know that you have to file for asylum in the first year that you get here. No one's going to tell you that. So many people have been ineligible for asylum simply because they didn't know they had to file within a year. So ending that 1 year ban alone is incrediable. It would also increase protections for U visa, T visa, and VAW applicants. The thing that is listed on the website is that it will increase the number of U visas granted from 10,000 to 30,000 per year. So a U visa is sort of a visa for certain people who are victims of crimes who then were able to assist the police or the prosecution in solving those crimes. So you have to prove that you were the victim of a crime and were helpful. They only give, up till now, 10,000 visas a year, and there is a backlog of over 100,000. So, I mean, it is something like a 10-year wait to get your U visa. And so expanding that cap to 30,000 would be amazing, because that would, basically make it go 3 times faster. You see so many more people getting U visas. And like you said, Beata, all that this has been doing so far is we've just been increasing the size of our undocumented population. So, this is just giving more people a chance to come out of the shadows, shortening the lines. No one's cutting a line, as some people like to say. It's just, making the U visa line move faster. And I guess I'm going to take a sec to just rephrase what I just said when I said no one's cutting a line. I think the way I'd like to think of this is that it is making more lines available for everyone. In the past, there weren't lines for most people. Most people did not have a way to come here. You gave the example of the punishment for being here unlawfully. If you enter the country unlawfully, have children, you could live here for 20 years and have no way of ever getting a green card. And this provides a line for you, again, assuming you are paying your taxes and passing a background check. But just the fact that everyone could, in theory, have a chance to immigrate here is, I can't overstate how excited I am.
It's incredible. There's also proposals, and there's not a lot of information, but proposals to increase the diversity lottery, to expand the immigration options for members of the military and their family members, and to make it easier for LGBT families that are in permanent partnerships to sponsor their family members. So not a lot of information, but just, again, a host of goals. It's a very exciting time to be an immigration attorney, to finally be able to give many of our clients at least an option or hope that there will be something that they can do, because, again, there were simply no lines for a lot of people. And for people who were in lines, those lines were often decades long. So it's an exciting time. Again, these are just this is a proposed bill, has not passed. We'll have to get through Congress and pass both the House and the Senate in order to become law. We have no information as to when or if that will occur, and even if something does pass, whether it will meet all of these goals and what the requirements may be in the end. But at least this is on the table, and so that's very, very, very exciting. So if you or your family members or anybody have questions about this, would like to consult with us or one of our other immigration attorneys at our firm, feel free to call us at 312-427-6163 to schedule a call or a video consultation, or go to our website at www.mmhpc.com. Thank you, Erin. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Beata.
Have a good night.
Take care.